Okay, my time in prison ended when I got released in December 2007. I was a first-time non-violent drug offender, so I didn't have to serve 100% of my sentence, which was 9.5 years. I served just under 6 years total. Yeah. But in America right now, there's 2.5 million people in prison, nearly all drug-related. You know, these people building these prisons, they want people out doing drugs, they want people getting busted. It costs, and the taxpayers, $50,000 a year of taxpayers' money then goes to the prison. It's all a racket. Prisons traditionally used to be, you know, murderers, sex offenders, all this kind of stuff, but now it's nearly all drug offenders, and they're bringing this stuff over to the UK. This government right now here, they're trying to build the biggest kids' prison in the Western world in this country. That's what they're trying to do. And they've also just opened a massive adult prison as well. And these guys are looking at people who take drugs as their potential to make money off them. That's how sick it is. Yeah.
So when did you come back from America?
Okay, I came back in December of 2007. Has anyone seen that movie Con Air? Well, Nicolas Cage, all the prisoners are on the plane. I was on Con Air for a few days, with all these prisoners chained, federal marshals guarding us and stuff. And then they put me on a regular flight from LA back to, I think it was Heathrow, and that was it. Then I was a free man. And my mum was there, my sister, you know, they were crying and stuff like that. And yeah. It took me about a year to get my head straight. I was a bit institutionalised. My mum said I was like a puppy dog, just following her around the house waiting for orders. And it took me about a year and a half before I actually did my first talk out of school. And I was so nervous I couldn't even eat my breakfast. For the entire hour, I paced like a prisoner in a cell at the front of the room, more scared of those kids and these murders and gangsters I've been living with. Yeah. I thought I wasn't cut out to do it, but then I got an email from the school asking me to come back, and that got my confidence up. Yeah, and since then, you know, I've made it a full-time thing. Yeah. Anyone got any questions?
What have you been in prison for?
Okay, I went to prison because, as a young person in this country, I started to get into drugs, the rave scene, doing ecstasy, doing speed, and then when I went over to America, I made a lot of money, and that money went right to my head. I'm from a little small town in between Liverpool and Manchester. I never grew up with any money, so once I got all this money, it went right to my head, and I started to throw rave parties for up to 10,000 people at a time. And then
Excuse me, what do you make the money?
bringing ecstasy in from Holland. Yeah. So my charges were running an ecstasy ring. I had people working for me, selling this ecstasy and bringing it in. Yeah.
You're a billionaire now.
No. In America, if you're silly enough to have money and to be committing crimes, they will target you to liquidate absolutely everything. So I lost absolutely everything because I was silly enough to put myself in that position. Yeah.
Connected to drugs, it's just a party drug. But you can't get addicted to it.
Yeah, I agree, but because it was illegal, that's why they ended up getting me. You know, America was good to me, I didn't really need to be doing it. And I took advantage and I pushed it to the limit, and then the SWAT team came on May 16, 2002. Yeah.
How old was you?
I was 33 at that point, I'm 46 now. Yeah.
So you got an addiction on heroin, maybe that might have been a reason to get mixed up.
If what, sorry?
You should have got an addiction on heroin, that'd be a reason to get mixed up.
No, I never went down that road. I went into crystal meth quite heavily though. I think that's up there with heroin, isn't it?
No, that's not right. That's still up there with fucking nicotine.
Really?
Well, just a party drug.
People in Arizona, it's caused a lot of chaos in Arizona. Crystal meth has, yeah.
Yeah, I've known a few people that are addicted to crystal meth.
Yeah, a lot of my mates got addicted to crystal meth and went downhill on it very fast as well. And, you know, I did have my battles with it as well. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Everyone's doing them at the parties. Yeah, I totally know what you're saying. Yeah.
But you have seen so many things.
Yeah, I did see a lot of things.
This prison you've been, that is not a good prison.
No, you know, I'm not saying it should be easy, but killing mentally ill people, dead rats in the food, cockroaches all over you at night time, that's actually illegal. But the people running the prison, they're never held accountable. They can get away with anything and break the law, it doesn't matter.
Do you still still suffer with nightmares?
Yeah, I have nightmares, I have flashbacks, but you know, I do a lot of yoga and meditation now, and that helps me deal with it. Yeah.
So, how did your addiction, how did it affect your relationship with your family?
Well, because my family were in England and I was in America, I was hiding it from them. But in the end, my mum had a nervous breakdown. My sister had to have counselling. I can still see the hurt and pain on their faces that I've caused them. You know, and I've got to live with that. It makes me sick to my stomach, and I've got to live with that for the rest of my life. And that's one of the things that stops me from going back to doing drugs. Is just to think about all the hurt and pain I put my family through. Yeah.
Did you have to deal with that after you came? Did it take you a long time to kind of deal with things after you came out of prison?
You know, I had to deal with that when my parents were flying out to Arizona to visit me in prison, and seeing her in the visitation and seeing how stressed out my mum was and knowing she'd had a nervous breakdown. So psychologically, that was really hard for me to feel that I'd committed all these crimes and they were suffering because of me. Yeah, and then, you know, since then, because I still know that it affects them, you know, it's an ongoing thing, dealing with that. But you know, I'm trying to make them proud of me now by going out and doing the talks and sharing my story, and I hope young people won't make my mistakes.
Are they still suffering now?
Yeah, not as bad. Now that I'm free and they see what I'm doing in the schools, they see I'm doing some good work, so they are proud of me now. It's not as bad. But when you put people through that much stress, you know, it's a long healing process.
I suppose you've got any pills for sale, have you?
No, learn a lesson. I think, do you want to read this one?
What's this? All down end up in God, does it?
No, it does not.
Loads of these American prison books I've read, like.
No, it doesn't.
Turn to God, like.
My spirituality, the most I got in the spiritual side was doing yoga and meditation. And that helped me deal with the stress of the situation.
Did you ever meet anybody that you felt that had been rehabilitated, or do you find that there's people that they just jump out of hoops so that they fit into this bracket?
Okay, I think that what they're doing in America, they're making all this money off people with addiction issues. And what they do is they get people off the streets, they make people off the streets that may be doing heroin, or maybe doing meth, maybe doing weed. I think weed is probably the most. And then everybody gets in the jail, and the young people especially, they're so scared, they click up with the gangs, and then they start shooting up heroin and crystal meth, and it makes their addiction issues 10 times worse. And the jail knows this, and that's what keeps them in business. They know when they get out, they're going to do more drugs, they're going to get arrested, and they're going to come right back. And it's $50,000 a year of taxpayers' money that the jail gets per person that comes right back. So human beings are commodities in America. That's why we've got 2.5 million people in prison right now in America. It's nearly all drug related. And our government here, they're slowly introducing that system here. Yeah.
Excuse me now, you walking now?
Am I what, sorry?
Like you do it now, you walking here now.
Yeah, I'm doing good now.
Like in the stroke walker or something. What you do?
What's my work?
Yes.
I write books, yeah. And I am a public speaker. I go to schools and do talks mostly, yeah. That keeps me
How
busy.
much paying money for
Keeps me out of trouble. Yeah, the schools do pay me, yes.
Makes a lot of money from the books.
All the money from the books is going to give school kids and prisoners free books. I don't make anything off the books. I'm donating it all back. And that's why I'm able to bring all these here and donate them here today.
So most of your things are in these books?
All my stories in these books, they're all my story, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like what you've heard today, but in 10 times more detail.
Right.
Yeah.
How much you selling them?
No, these are all for you guys, I'm not selling them.
Have one.
Yeah, you help yourselves. Yeah, that's why I brought them. Yeah.
What's your shoes?
I don't wait.
Anyone else got anything there? Alright, well, thank you for all your interest and all your questions. Thank you, cheers, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
you're
much.
welcome.
Thanks very much for sharing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.